Hello everybody and welcome to Let's Build live from Oak Hill Works. It is good to be back. How are we all doing this evening? I hope you are well. And for those who didn't realise, for some reason my microphone was muted. That was quite annoying, especially after Linny's joke. So yes, we are back. We had a week off. And now I completely forget what I do on these things, to be honest. What am I supposed to be doing? I jest, of course, I do know what I'm doing. Well, as much as usual anyway. We are working on some carriages. We're probably going to get these two finished this evening. And a bit more done on these. I think you show us kitten pictures. I haven't got any kitten pictures to hand. And I can't bring them up on my phone and put them in front of the camera because my phone's nearly dead. Good evening, Heritage Railway Productions. How are you this evening? I hope you are well. Now, I genuinely, though, cannot remember if we got second coats on both of these. I don't think we have on this one. This one needs a coat of paint. No kitten pictures. How can this be a kitten picture live stream without kitten pictures? See, this is where I'm having the problem, James. I'm not 100% convinced it is a kitten picture live stream. Although I'm thinking I should set up a second channel and do that. Just 24/7 kitten pictures scrolling around in a slideshow. I would probably get loads of viewers. I'll probably get more viewers than this gets, let's be honest. Very well, hope you are too. I am, thank you, Heritage Railway Productions. I'm watching the wrong channel. No, we have that special kittens command for you, James, so it can't be the wrong channel. But yes, I think we will start by getting some paint on this, because it does need a second coat. We'll get some windows in these, get the roofs on them, and get some couplings on them, I suppose, which I have the couplings here. And I have NEM pockets for fitting them because, of course, for those that don't remember, I ordered the wrong type of couplings and they need NEM pockets because I'm really, really clever. No one's surprised by that. I'll pop these over here. You'll notice I've gone with appropriate logos for the background today, being my 4P classes, since one of them will have the honour of pulling these coaches when they are on the layout. I think you're right, James. I do believe you are right. I don't think, no, I don't. I don't have the promotional images from Hunt couplings, but I blame their promotional material for me ordering the wrong thing. Is that a white metal P in the background? No, this is a resin P class. It is the Dean Sidings kit, which fits onto a modified old Tooling Terrier chassis. It is mostly one piece. The boiler fittings are separate white metal castings, as are the buffers, and that's about it, really. I think the steps are separately fitted, but I can't remember whether they're white metal or resin. But it was a really easy kit to build. This was actually the first loco I ever did lining on myself. And I was like, I am still very happy with how the lining and lettering came out on this. But it does not hold up next to the Hattons ones. I'm really happy with it still. Don't get me wrong, I love it. So, yes, we have some paint. We have some SE&CR carriage paint. And you know what we're not going to do with this paint this week? Interesting, first locomotive that I lined with transfers was P-Class, albeit much simpler stuff and black livery. Ah! Very interesting. What a great coincidence. Not going to spill it. Exactly, we're not going to spill it. For those that have noticed, my paintbrush is getting ever more worn and rubbish looking every week. I have ordered some more paintbrushes. See, the transfers look lovely. Thank you very much. This needs filler before it needs painting because it's got old in the corner here. I remember now. We painted it early to get a photo, didn't we? See? I do know. We're not going to keep the paint all in the tin this week either. Well, I mean, to be fair, using it properly, we don't keep it all in the tin. Oh, and just for added weirdness, this is now full of white spirit. I don't need to reach all the way down to the bottom because I even got some more white spirit. So it's full and it's clean. There's a lot of paint in this brush though. There we go. We'll save that for later. Told you I couldn't remember what we had and hadn't done on these. I wasn't joking. Recently I got a white metal P-Class Southern Black from Hatton's. It was fitted with a rather old motor. The white metal ones are Southeastern fine cast. I assume they were wheels originally, but they are now Southeastern fine cast. I don't know what motors would be best for them because they're quite small and I don't know what the chassis is like. Otherwise, I would give some advice. So we're back with the Squadron Grey putty because it was the only colour that was in stock. Saving for a T9. Oh, Union Mills T9. I have a friend with one of those. It is very nice. Pull anything you ask of it. I have not yet got a proper thing for putting filler on though. We're still using the paintbrush, still using the screwdriver for that. Paintbrush. What am I on about? Who knows? And I have, unfortunately, this weekend missed out on 2 rather nice USB sound cards to get the proper microphone back up and running. There we go, we shall leave that to do that. And scrape off the filler on the edge of the workbench. They do look nice. Keep adding to my credit. Too much though, so I've got a rather large bill stacking up all together. Oh yeah, I know that feeling, Simon, don't worry. Motor is one of the smaller Triang motors, like an XO4 but smaller. If it's like an XO4 but smaller, it's probably an Airfix one. There was Airfix and there was someone else that made one very similar to the XO4 but slightly smaller. The Airfix ones were slightly better because they were 5-pole, which meant they were better at slower speed and stuff. So you could have an actually really good motor there. Might have been an XT60. A good point. Could have been an XT60. That's the one from the single. And I think it was used in something else, but I'm not sure. It might just be the singles that it was used in. So, clear acetate it is. Although I think that still needs a coat of varnish. Maybe we should do the varnish first, and the varnish can be set in whilst we're doing the windows for these. That makes more sense, because then hopefully we can be somewhere close to putting transfers on by then. These are looking much better with a coat of... I'm thinking it's for the one from, yeah, that is quite a small one. These are looking much better now that they've had a coat of matte varnish over them. They're sort of they're not quite a matte finish. They're very much a satin finish now, and it's exactly what I was after. So we'll give the gloss a good shake, and it'll never open. Gets stuck, this one. Always. There we go. Looks pretty dirty though, needs a good clean. Well, motors always benefit from a decent service. No, that one can go in the bin. I think, yeah, this is the one we want for this. So now this brake carriage is going to become the shiniest carriage in the world, with more coats of varnish than the real thing got. Okay, that's not quite true, but you know what I'm saying. And it's going to get that coat on all sides to make sure it gets a nice even finish. Good evening, Paderborn. How are you? I hope you are well. So there we go, the beginnings of the world's shiniest carriage. I'm going to forget how full this is at some point, be a bit rough with it and spill it everywhere. Fine, thanks. Hope everyone else is fine too. Well, speaking for myself, I am very well, thank you. And I'll let everyone else answer for their part. Wipe the white spirit off my hand. So yes, now we want the clear acetate, which shows up really well against the glass, as you would expect. Now normally I'd cut this with a pair of scissors, however my scissors are a bit blunt, so we're going to use the knife. So I need it to be slightly taller than the windowed section. So I've used the carriage itself to measure that up, and now I shall just cut along with a straight edge. Hello, Hillcock Model Railway, welcome. How are you this evening? I hope you are well. And hello, Max. How are you? I hope you two are also well. Then again with these we want something wider than the window opening. I can't even see that mark I made now. You see, usually with the scissors I hold that there and snip it there. Excellent, glad to hear it, Max. And that gives us our window. Now, of course, that one will be the right size for all the bits on this carriage. So we will use it as a template. To cut the rest of this strip. Handy when all your compartments are the same size. I'm great, thanks. I thought I'd pop by and see what you're up to. Well, this evening you find us hoping to finish off some carriages. We've got two here we should definitely finish, which are The third class and the composite here, we are just adding window glazing to them now. Their roofs need a coat of paint and sticking on, and that's about it for these really. Now I'm thinking I should have painted the roofs before starting this. Never mind, too late now, I've started this job. So these two should be finished. We will also be getting some couplings on them using the Hunt couplings. I'm really clever, so I ordered the wrong one. So we will first be adding NEM pockets to the carriages. I'm convinced the word I want to describe myself with is clever. I'm sure that's the right one. Others beg to differ. So we've not quite got enough windows. So I'm going to cut another strip. Don't think this is going to be long enough now. Have to be careful with this one because it's quite easy to just end up cutting through the ruler instead. Which also had something on the bottom of it. Loving the work on the carriages. Thank you, Max. They are coming along very nicely. I almost bought some more earlier. And there we are. That is the right number of window pieces now. Why only almost? Because they went for more than I was willing to pay for them. Cutting through the ruler, maybe a steel rule would be a good investment. Good evening, Luke. Welcome. Maybe you saw my steel rule a couple of seconds before the ones that I might cut through. It's just not a very long one. So the windows will be held in with deluxe materials, glue and glaze. I use this for all my windows. For very small windows, I do sometimes use it as the actual glazing, which it is designed to be able to be used for. It's absolutely fantastic stuff. So you'll see that in there is now a bit of a sloppy mess. The glue will go everywhere, but it's fine. You will not notice that glue at all once it is dried. For those that doubt me, go and find photos of my bright Helmstone layout. There is plenty of it smeared all over the windows. There we have glazing in this side. Oh yes, I did. Well then. Yeah, there was a rake of 4 of these on eBay again earlier. 2 brakes, a composite and a third. And ideally, to complete this as a full rake, I would want another composite and another third. But they went for more than I was willing to spend for the sake of only actually getting 2 carriages I wanted out of them. And there we have 1 carriage fully fitted with glazing. And 1 carriage in need. So much like we did before, I will make a mark on there. Interesting. There's a coupling hook. Now, there's no coupling hooks fitted to any of these carriages for obvious reasons. And I cleaned this workbench earlier. After doing some filming, which was not involving coupling hooks or anything fitted with them. So I've no idea where that one's come from. So talking of my filming earlier, carriages in need, you should start a phone in. Oh, don't, James. Oh, God. Who remembers my Patreon announcement video? Carl at the right size. 1, 2, 3, 2, 4. So we've got 6 of them. We need yet more. We need another 4. So it's time to cut another strip. There is the bot promoting the Twitter account and James promoting the Patreon. And of course, for those that don't know, I set up a Patreon because of someone on here suggested I should one night join the stream. Oh, you should set up a Patreon. I'd donate to help you, and a donation from Simon. Thank you very much. That is very much appreciated. It really does go a long way to help pay for more materials and tools to keep the live streams running. Yeah, so the donations and the Patreon were set up after someone on the live stream one night suggested I should. Pretty much, I'd really like to help. Please, set it up. So I did, and that same person on that same night. So we were joking about it, and they joked that an appeal, a charity appeal, would be called Comic Relief. So I actually did a Comic Relief knockoff video called Comic Relief for announcing the Patreon when I set it up. It is still there on the channel. So for those that haven't seen it and want a bit of a laugh, there is a video called Comic Relief, based as much on comic relief as I felt comfortable with doing. I am intrigued. I thought you might be. It does exist. I put a lot of effort into making it comic relief like. I think it's the first minute or so of the video is this mock charity drive before it goes into the serious bit of it. So yes, again, much like we did for the last one, we can just chuck the glue about. It's flowing really free. It's flowing much freer than I actually want it to right now. Any kind words about my last video when I was soldering? You did a fantastic job, Simon. Those kind words were well and truly earned, sir. It did not look like someone who had not done white metal soldering before. I was really glad we'd had a problem on my stream and I'd been able to show you how to white metal solder when I saw that. I was like, yes, that live stream was definitely worth the effort. And so there we have the other side again, looking a total mess. So that's flowed a lot freer than it was for the first carriage, and a lot freer than I would like, but it makes no difference. No matter how covered these get with glue, you will not notice by the time it's dry. Obviously, the more glue, the longer it takes to dry. But there we go, we have a carriage. Two carriages with glazing. Still haven't plucked up the carriage through the footbridge yet. Keep fiddling with it to make sure it'll all fit together right. There is no such thing as too much checking to make sure it fits. Do not be ashamed of that at all. Even if it is an excuse to not have to do it. Right, sorry, the roofs want a coat of paint, especially this one that for some reason has black edges. So we're going to get some paint on the roofs. We're going to go with white. Best glue to use for plasticard, Humbrol poly cement? No. Super glue? That's what I normally use. Plasticard is the wrong type of plastic for poly cement, I do believe. I could be wrong. Oh yes, I want these carriages to look reasonably new by the time they're done. So I will be painting them white, which they would have had originally. It would have toned down to grey very quickly, but I intend on having some white as if they are really, really fresh out the paint shop. Measure once, cut twice, measure twice, cut once. Exactly. Met pack or plastic world for plasticard? There you are, Luke. There is your answer. I forget about Met pack. I love that stuff. It's such a great glue. So yes, what has everyone else been up to today, and what are you up to now as you watch the live stream? Please do tell. I love to hear about what you're all getting up to. As I have slightly said earlier, a portion of my day has been spent working on Tuesday's video. But I've also been gardening and decorating. It's been a busy one. Met pack. Sold by Slaters is what they recommend for gluing their plasticard. Yeah, that. Building Engage track. Right now I'm building a kit of Dapple Pub, trying to hit my next cat project, sorting some pictures on the PC, fiddling with footbridge. I was wet sanding some tender bodies. Oh, Carl, we do have a busy group, don't we? And hello, son of a train. How are you this evening? I hope you are well. Yes, I've been contemplating the idea of building my own track. I don't know whether I will or not, but I've certainly been thinking about it. Cleaning TTT stock, back-to-backs well off. Oh, yeah, that makes a difference to running. The SCR coaches, I've got to agree with Tom there, Linny. Some nice 6-wheel push-pull set, maybe. You keep going for those infusion, getting the panelling to go around the turn under. Laser cut them, it's easier. Gives me more to do on the live stream as well. And also, hello Tom, welcome. How are you this evening? I hope you are well. Been clearing my loft so I can get on with my layout, and now I'm sorting out the Airfix motor. Fair enough. Getting on with layouts I very much approve of. Those ones can go up there out the way. Good, currently working on 2 Manning Wardles. Very nice. I take it those are the 2 we saw pictures of earlier. I don't know, I might be getting somewhere with 3D printed ones. Oh, fair enough. But laser cut ones gives me more to do on a live stream when I get some and build them. And I'm all about that content. Got to have lots and lots and lots of content. All the content, in fact, is the correct amount of content. 3D printing can give good content. I'd just love to see you be able to have your i3. Oh yes, in the future, definitely. What, you mean you don't want to build a full close coupled Stroudley carriage rake in an evening? I mean, I do want to do that. I'm not convinced it's not possible with your laser cut ones, to be fair though, Linny. Did you know that the Linny link on the Oak Hill webpage no longer works? I did. I forgot the link was on the Oak Hill webpage, but I did know that it doesn't work. So thank you for doing that, for reminding me. I have to remove that at some point. Content makes you content. It does indeed, James. It does indeed. So someone needs to remind me to remove that link at some point when I'm able to remove the link. All my website work recently has gone into the rolling stock database that I am building, so that everyone can catalogue their rolling stock nicely. It is currently in beta at version 0.2 because it does have features. If you're interested in checking it out, you need to head over to my Discord for the details. A link can be found by hitting !Discord in the chat. Shane's not himself spot a laser cutting. Bearing with James' stuff going on in the background, but I can't produce at the moment. Appears to be bears with you rather than a bear, Linny. And there we go, 4 roofs, painted and out of sight. Some very odd colours coming out of them, though. None of them look the same at the moment. Only one of them looks white. I mean, I know it's partially because I've overfilled this, because I'm actually hoping that over the course of the next few days it will soak some of the paint colour off the sides of it. Obviously helped by a good mixing caused by me dunking brushes in it all the time. But that's really not cleaning very well. Have to dry my hand off because I don't actually want to go to bed tonight with a Technicolor hand. I leave Technicolor for Dreamcoats. But, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to remind you all, hydration is very important. Obviously, we're pretending the chatbot didn't get there before me. So, how's our filler? It's surprisingly dry. Yeah, see, that's coming down nicely. It's almost like I planned these things to be finished in order. But anyone that's been watching me long enough now should know that I don't plan. Do you plan not to plan? I do not plan not to plan. My catalogue in stock is just piles of stuff on a shelf in order at the moment. That's better than mine, Simon, to be fair. So what are you going to do next when these are done? Well, Luke, contrary to my I don't plan statement, there is a plan for that. But to reinforce the I don't plan statement, the plan was made by the viewers of the channel, and the next thing we work on will be a loco. It will be a Brighton D3 in resin. It's an 044 tank. And it will be going into umber as number I can't remember, but when it had a name, it was Hayward Heath, because I got the kit from the Hayward Heath show. So do you sometimes plan by mistake? Not that I know of. If I never plan things, then things can't ever fail to go to plan. See? Clean all that filler off the workbench. We actually want this one still, because we want to put another coat of paint on it. I shall look forward to the D3 adventure, as shall I, James. It'll be our first resin build on the channel. So it'll be a new medium for Let's Build. And new mediums mean new content, and new content is good content. That sounds like a plan not to plan to me. Ah, well. You say that. But I literally just made that up on the spot when I said it. So is it really a plan? Because I'll have forgotten I said it by the end of the stream. Running out of shelf space though, but I have managed to finally source some more track. So when it arrives, I can finally restart track laying. Yay! Restarting track laying. I approve of track laying, but I sympathise with running out of storage space. So your lack of planning is not a plan. It does lead you to planning by mistake. Yes, maybe. And hello, Will Powell. How are you? I hope you are well this evening. It has been a while since you've managed to get to the live stream, hasn't it? But I know the support is there regardless. So, yes, thank you for coming along. It does mean a lot. You're doing well. Excellent. Glad to hear it. Tell you what, Will, since we're going by Will on here, really hard remembering all your identities at times. Because, of course, I see you with this name on YouTube, I see you with your name on Discord. We spoke on Twitter. And I've seen you on Twitch, which is the same as your Twitter name. And I sometimes see you posting on Facebook with your actual name. It gets really confusing. But it is good to see you making it to the stream. You can call me Poke. I mean, that one does match with most of your other names, doesn't it? It's the most common one. So it's confusing. I mean, my YouTube and Facebook name are the same. No, they're not. You're not Will on Facebook. Your surname's the same. And, I mean, don't be sorry about it being confusing. And you used your real name when we were talking on Twitter as well. Once. And you've even told us on Discord that Will is your middle name, I believe. It's my middle name. Yeah, see, there we go. James William Powell. There we go. See? See, I did know it. So you used it when we were talking on Twitter, and I see you post as James Powell on Facebook. In whatever group we're both in. I honestly don't know what one it is off the top of my head. Hey, look at that. Would you believe? This one now is dry enough for its first set of transfers. So I'll go by Will. Fair enough. Plenty of people that go by middle names. So yeah, this one is now ready for its first set of transfers, which of course will be the white transfers. 19th. That's the one. That is the one we are both in. See, someone here has to know what's going on because it's not me. So we're going to get some freeze on the door. We're going to get luggage compartment on the luggage compartment, guard on there, and SE&CR in that panel there. And then we're going to start pretending I know what I'm doing. These aren't the oh, these do have luggage on. They only have luggage on them though, not luggage compartment. Oh no, there's the compartment. I see it. It's in a different place. It's on here. Yeah. See, there's me pretending. Do I have to call you Gary Oakhill and Mr. Hydration? You can if you want, yes. I go by all those names. I sometimes go by Mr. Oak. And I have been known as Gary Lightning Oak in the past as well. And I mean, let's be honest, there's worse things to be known for than making sure people hydrate. The account span like 12 years, yeah. I know that feeling, also known as Gazza the Geezer. I have never been known as Gazza the Geezer. I've never been known as Gazza for that matter. Well, not by anyone I liked. Carry the granddad. I'm not quite a granddad yet. My oldest is only 13. So here in Hicktown, I've got another couple of weeks until I'm a granddad. That's a joke for those unaware. Whilst those soak for a bit, I am going to top up the hydration. Thoughts on my most recent model. Your most recent model is? I see so many different models from so many different people, it's hard to keep track. "3D printed waiting for as French American." Oh, that sounds very nice. I do remember seeing it now, yes. That was certainly very interesting looking. It's weird seeing stuff like that and hearing that it's 1830s, because it's so different to anything that was around in the UK in that, even 20 years after then. It's so much more advanced looking, and it's really interesting looking, and I really liked it. So we're going with a close SE&CR on this one. Remember, there are the ones that are closer together, the ones that are further apart. And obviously it's the further apart ones we used before, as they are spread across compartments. But not so on this one. Not across compartments, across panels. But that is not the case on the brakes. Thinking about an LBSC model next, or an MR Saloon. Oh, well, both sound fantastic. Both are definitely things you could entice me to purchase with. I hate having to pick these up. It's one of the downsides of a nice flat bit of glass. So now we want the word luggage off of here. Oh, I was thinking, oh, as a gift. Well, wow, thank you very much. I will never turn down a gift. Perhaps we could entice other people to purchase from you with it. And welcome back, Max. Trying to find diagrams of the MR 1860s saloon that's sold into industrial service and survives. Oh, that would be an interesting one. Unfortunately, I lack books on anything Midland, so I can't help. But I do know the one you're on about. We now want the word compartment off of here. It's not actually the whole compartment. Just, you know, COMPT. And the word guard, these actually say guards on them. We just want guard. And I've only just realised that you can't see a thing of what I'm doing here. Love how the coaches still coming together. Really think they are fabulous. Thank you, Max. I am glad you like them. After the footbridge, I'm going to have a go at an etched Queen Mary break van. Oh, very nice indeed. I do like Queen Mary break vans. It's one of very few bits of stock that I didn't get that I really wanted when I was modelling the 50s. Not many MR kits online other than ratio and expensive brass. No, there isn't. You're quite right. Oh, and there's a link to the website from Linny. Thank you very much, Linny. So now we need to get some transfers on here. So the SE&CR will go here. Luggage compartment obviously across the luggage doors. And guard across the guards doors. We'll bring that back over because we're going to need that. Got two for 50p each. Oh, very nice. Very nice indeed, Simon. Going to leave the Pullman for the last. Fair enough. Believe Slater's working to bring back their 4 meal coach kits. She might love me or kill me if I do it. Probably a bit of both, Will. Yes, you are right, Linny. Slaters are trying to bring their 4 mil Midland range back. Believe it's a long-term project bringing all that back. Right, there is luggage. And compartment. So it's just the guard to put on the guard's door. And that will be this first layer of transfers done. I didn't know they had any. I had them a while ago, sold them old to Coopercraft. Might be getting a new Hornby 00 set for my birthday in October. Really excited. Pre-ordered its special occasion art. Oh, and goodness, found a guy who does 3D printing like shapeways for way cheaper. Hello, Toyman. How are you this evening? I hope you are well. And yes, Luke, as Linny says, Slater's had quite a decent 4 mil range, but they let Coopercraft get their hands on it. Luckily, it was only licensed rather than sold forever. So it's one of the few ranges that fell into the Coopercraft black hole that will be able to be revived. And that sounds really cool, Max, getting that set. I've seen a few people with it. It does look really nice. And that is also excellent about 3D printing like Shapeways for way cheaper. Shapeways is worse than the car dealership when it comes to models. It is indeed. Long time man, hello, long time no see, hello, Max Model Railway. What kind of things did they have in it? Pretty much everything that's in their 7 meal range, as far as I'm aware, Luke. Mr. Mole has some 4 meal Midland Slaters stuff. At least I hope he does, because I know he's sold a lot again. So yeah, there we are, 2/3. Two-thirds, some company initials, luggage compartment, and guard. And the roofs are dry enough for a second coat. That it's not showing up well on camera, but there are parts of that that are actually nearly black. Right, so we had a stream freeze and we're back to normal. Do you still have the Norris? I have it within reach. I do like my Norris. It's a lovely little loco. From Bachmann's Prussia sets. Since looking at the dimensions, it's actually in 00 close to a Norris B. Oh, really? That's very interesting. Brick. No, there is not one for the Norris. Like that, excellent. Glad you like that. Yes, Norris type. It is indeed Norris type, an American loco. I have a few from other countries. It's very, like, the body of it is very close to a lot of the Bury locos in 00. Which obviously Norris copied Bury. For those that don't know, that is a thing. It's not a secret or a lie. Bury were very upset by it, and then when some Norris locos started to appear over here, they got very, very upset by it. Which did survive as a tank locomotive to Midland. Oh, now that's very interesting. I'd love to see some pictures of that if there are any. Because that is very interesting indeed. Norris improved on Bury. Well, they changed things. I personally don't know enough to say whether it was an improvement or not. So I shall not comment. Norris fireboxes were built better than Bury. Weren't Norris fireboxes riveted rather than welded or something? Or vice versa? I'm sure I remember someone saying that at some point. Could have even been you. But yeah, I knew the fireboxes were different, were one of the things they did different. Yes, hydration. Yeah, we'll hydrate in a minute, James. Just for you. They were riveted. There we go. See, I do pay attention. I don't know why one is better than the other and stuff, but I know what they are. Don't hydrate for me, hydrate for the kittens. Oh, okay. Riveted, which allowed more strength using less copper. It also allowed raw iron to be used, which is why Norris fireboxes don't have much copper, saving on price. Fair enough. That all makes sense. Look at me learning. Price and ease of maintenance, yeah. Yeah. So I get that now that I've had your other comments appear and read them. Very interesting. Did it affect performance in any way, though? And just one more roof to get a coat of paint on. Not much. Fair enough. Not much is a good answer. You know, this is the 64th time I've done one of these live streams. That's quite a lot of live streams. Especially when you consider I didn't actually plan on Let's Build to ever be a live stream series. And I'm still not completely used to the fact that when I talk, you don't hear me straight away. That still seems weird to me. And let's get that brush cleaned. Because of the use of raw iron, the fireboxes had to be thicker, so in part Norris had more weight. Since it was right behind stroke over the drivers, it improved performance. Yeah, I can imagine that's why they were good for the Licky incline. That bit of extra adhesive weight over the driver. Did you put the lamp that appeared last stream where it belongs? No, I completely forgot. It is still in this pot over here. I completely forgot. So, yes, as we've been reminded, hydration is important. It belongs on my packet, that lamp. So every time I'm looking down at this hand at the minute, I'm seeing it's very red. I'm thinking, oh no, that white spirit I'm putting on it is I'm reacting to it. And it takes me a second to remember that it's actually the colour left by this, rather than it actually being anything to do with a reaction. I can English, honest. Indeed, very important. Yes, yes, yes. My packet needs a lamp. Now, the problem with these NEM pockets is they're all attached to Hunt couplings. I'm sure it's very confusing for you all as to why that is a problem. It is a problem because none of these Hunt couplings that they're attached to are much cop. These are my dodgy Hunt couplings. Some of them are a bit too tight in there. They're all at funny angles and the motors, the magnets aren't seated in them properly. And some of them, it's quite the opposite problem. There is no strength there at all. Yes, go ahead with the also. I'll say, since getting these, no photos exist of the UK Norwich locomotive. Oh, really? I did not know that. I did not know that. Thinking about getting Hunt couplings for my Raker Pullman cars, not sure yet. Well, all I will say is, since having my issues with these, where obviously some of them just fall out the couplings, lots of them are bent and all over the place. I have seen a lot of comments on Facebook of people receiving the same and having issues. But of course, they did replace them with a full new bag. Took about another week or so for me to get them, but they did eventually arrive. So there's that to bear in mind should you choose to get them. But there we now have a decent amount of NEM pockets. They're all gone by the mid-60s. Only about 5 went into MR and the rest were sold into industrial service. Fair enough. I didn't realise there were no photos of them. That is a real shame. So yes, for those that can't gather what we're doing, we're going to get some couplings on these two at least. To do that, we're going to cut away a hole in the buffer beam wide enough for the body of the Hunt coupling. So for this part here, Another diagram, basically a saddle tank and smaller coal bunker fitted to the cab. I would love to see the diagram as well. So there's our hunt coupling. So we're going to cut a hole wide enough to fit the wider part of that body through. And then we will attach it to its NEM pocket and glue it in and glue the NEM pocket in place. Which gives us a slight amount of movement in there, and that tiny little bit of wiggle is enough movement to get round set track curves. Okay, I have done the same on my Strauglies, as you've seen. We want roughly 4mm sticking out the end of the carriage there. So I'm going to see if there's any obvious marks we can follow to cut on there. We want it just a tiny bit wider than where the actual coupling plate is on these. Let's use the saw attachment. And then we'll use the knife attachment just to clean up the end there, where there's a little bit that needs to come out. Not quite wide enough, but so very close. We'll just open it up with a file. So that's now wide enough. We've got our little bit of wiggle in there. So all we need to do is glue the NEM pocket in place. And of course, make sure we've got the right distance we want. As I say, we want about 4mm. So that's going to give us plenty of space there. And take the coupling out, and then it won't get stuck. Don't you need the NEM pocket to swivel to go around curves? No. Where these have a slight amount of play in them, that actually gives us enough to get it round curves. Just that little bit of sway in each one, plus the fact that the magnets themselves have a little bit more in them. I have been playing with my Stroudley set up with these on Oak Hill to make sure these work. So no, it doesn't need the swivel in the pocket. That was one of the things I thought about when I was first considering using these. I thought, I didn't realise there's that play in the pockets. Yeah, there's a lot of play in these, so that allows it to go to do it. So when I was first considering these, that was something I thought about. The ones of these I actually meant to order don't have NEM legs on them. They have a hole, and I was going to be putting a screw through them so that they'd have absolutely loads of play as they just swivel round a screw. But I ordered the wrong ones and ended up having to come up with a way to make NEM pockets work. So much play happened. Much more by luck than by judgment. Also, on topic of Norris, the Norris brothers were huge Southern sympathisers and kind overworked their workers. They're also known for cheating and lying with contracts. Well, don't they sound just wonderful? Yes, what wonderful. That's the word we'll go with. But I don't believe that was uncommon of the day. They were not a good company to work for or good people. No, so it sounds. Right, let's check that again, because I do believe I know exactly where I want that. Yes. So, conveniently, the area on here, I want it to stick out to. There is either an A or a B on each one, so that you know you can match the magnets. And on that A, the bottom of the A's feet is 4mm from the end, which is the space we want. Big reason they went bust after the Civil War, they tried not to sell to the Union. Yeah, I can see that being a problem. Nope, it came off with my finger there, that's not good. And so there are our NEM pockets fitted to that carriage. We'll do that to the next one, and then we can start to get ready to add couplings properly. I'm going to turn that back round. There we go, much better. Has lettering on that side. So yes, this does feel like really making big progress on certainly these two centre carriages now. Of course, for those that don't, these are a realistically, these are a reasonably realistic interpretation of the Southeastern and Chatham's close coupling system. Now, it's obviously not perfect. How easy are these couplings to pull apart? Very. They're obviously no good for shunting and stuff like that, but for normal close coupled use, yeah, they're fine. As long as you don't get dodgy ones. I could already see that wasn't where I wanted it. That's got a lot more force than the one I was using to pull it out, but I think it's all right. Maybe not. That one's definitely too strong. All I want is one I can pull in and out easily, but also get a good grip. Now, I had one. I don't know why I don't have one now. I'm assuming this is probably the pocket's fault. Yeah, I can already tell that one's not going to. So we'll go back to this one, which is the one I thought it was. And we'll try a different pocket. That's better. Much better. So that is that one. I'll get that set up with a pocket for that side, then I won't lose it. Sent the Tank Norris on Discord. Excellent. Tar very much. I shall look forward to having a look at that. Oh look, there's a link to my Instagram, where I remembered to post today, didn't I, Luke? I saw you getting straight in there with the like when I posted. I don't know why, but Luke gets very upset when I don't post to Instagram. And there we are. They now both have NEM pockets on the bottom of them. Yes, you did indeed. See, every time I post to Instagram, I think of you, Luke. Hydration is important, everyone. So, how are we all doing? Well, you post promotion to everywhere else. Why should Instagram be left out? I don't post it to Facebook. There isn't even an Oak Hill Model Railway Facebook page. So there's that. Yeah, see? I don't post it everywhere. Let us put the couplings away for now. And we'll put the NEM pockets in a bag on their own. So I don't get upset, I just spend half my time on Instagram, so I notice it if you don't post. Yeah, yeah. If you say so. So, these have had ample time to dry. What this carriage needs is some more gloss varnish over the top of them before the top transfers go on, that then needs some gloss varnish over them before it gets a coat of matte. Yeah, I know. Cleaning your keyboard, and it tried to send a message. So you were cleaning your keyboard and you sent a message so offensive that YouTube felt the need to hold it for review. That's impressive, Luke. I mean, I wasn't going to press show on the message anyway because of how offensive it is. Oh, there we go. Maybe I should clean my keyboard less aggressively. You should clean your keyboard less aggressively. Your keyboard will not like being cleaned so aggressively. So there is another coat of gloss onto the current title holder for World's Shiniest Carriage. And this one is now dry enough that it can get its first coat of gloss ready for its first lot of transfers. There's a patch of glue there, I should get rid of that. I'll tell you, Luke, my trick for when I'm cleaning my keyboard is to make sure I don't have anything selected where I can type into. Or if I do, it's only something like Notepad. And then if I hit buttons, it doesn't matter. Oh, that was way too much varnish there. I wonder if we can get most of that onto the end. Oh yes, that sounds like a good idea. Yeah, I have them occasionally. Only occasionally though. Any MR stock? There's nothing in particular I'm really looking for, no. I generally watch every kit that comes up on eBay that's Midland. There's nothing in particular I'm looking for. Obviously, it is a charity build, so, and it's mostly Loco Shed, but it does also have some running lines planned for it. So it's a bit different to anything I've ever built before, really. And there we are with our first coat of gloss. It's 1870 to 1900. I mean, that's a good selection of years. Yes. So we are approaching the final hour of the stream. How is everyone doing as we reach this momentous moment? These roofs are feeling nice and dry. Who's the build for? Who knows at the minute? I mean, I know who the charity is, but it's going to be auctioned off at the end. So the build isn't for anyone specific, and I haven't publicly announced the charity yet. But it will be built and then auctioned off at the end. The plans have been held up by everything going on in the world, because I've not been able to get any track because of Pico being closed. But I want to get to a stage where we're pretty much ready to go before announcing who it is and starting to take donations for them. Because it will be a case of you will be able to donate directly to the charity, and then there will be the auction at the end as well. Painting rust on my track. Oh, I had my track painting kit out earlier actually, but not for painting track, for painting other stuff for Tuesday's video, which I really don't want to spoil. I'm putting a lot. It's another week where I'm putting a lot of effort into Tuesday's video, so I hope you all appreciate it. I'm adding stock to the Oak Hill database. Wahey! The best made Loco rolling stock database in the world. Of course, it's called Loco DB because when I was first coming up with it, I was just going to put my locos in it, and it was only going to be for me. What is your track painting kit? Various different colours that I use specifically for track and washes and stuffs like that. That is all dedicated to track. How long does it take to make the Tuesday videos? Incidentally, I spent a whole day making a video the other week. We are currently on day 3 of this week's video. It's not finished yet. I have more to do tomorrow so this one will have taken 4 days to make. I believe last week's one took 3 days. So sometimes there is a lot of effort that goes into them. Sometimes they take 20 minutes. I'm going to get the carriage paint back out so that we can paint the front of the bird cages. Yeah. It is shocking the time you can put into these things, isn't it, James? And when I'm doing these longer videos, I edit as I go, which, I mean, it makes it feel 20 minutes. I don't think I'll be able to do the editing in 20 minutes. When I cancelled hydration, you are right, Linny. Hydration is important. When I cancelled the live stream last weekend, I made the decision that I was definitely cancelling, came down the stairs, filmed the video, did the editing bits, uploaded it, and had it live in 15 minutes. So, yeah, I believe that is my record. Yeah, it was quite quick, that one. Of course, I do cheat by having a lot of my editing pre-done for me. So when I open Adobe Premiere that I use for my editing, I already have all the intro just there. It exists. Adobe Premiere is what I use. Yeah, as soon as I open it, the intro is there. All I have to do is type the name of the video. So all that is done for me. I really want to add an end screen to my videos as well, but I don't know what to do with it. If you have ideas, please write them down on the back of a postcard and send to Gary Lightning Oak Hill Works, care of the London, Brighton and South Coast Railway, London Bridge Station. I don't know what the address of London Bridge is, but I know that's where the offices were. Oh, look, and there's a link to the donations. Just in case. you want to donate an end screen, right, so there is those done, and we've not even spilt the paint. Yet. Well, I should point out I did add that command. There is an hour paint spill command for if it happens again. And I felt that was the most appropriate response. Approve of new commands. Indeed, I've not added that one yet. I'm looking at seeing if I can set up multiple random responses for that. And I couldn't be bothered to look it up when I was adding commands. So that's not done yet. Although I would like to point out, in Corbs's most recent video, we got a PPE is important. And I loved that. I thought that was absolutely brilliant. He showed off his face mask for spraying. And look at that, wouldn't you know, that gloss has gone off already. He plans it, I tell you, he does. I'm sure of it. Unlike you, who sometimes accidentally plans not to plan rather than not planning by accident. Exactly. That made perfect sense, I think. And there we have a coloured free. And another one. Did wonder why the brakes had white lettering and the rest had yellow. Now I know. Yeah, the reason, Luke, is that these coloured transfers are see-through. So if I knock this off of the white background, you can't see it anymore. So the coloured transfer has to, so the white transfer has to go down first under the coloured one, or you don't get anything show up. Which is much better than the first time we did these, and we didn't know that, and neither did Ian, who made them. However, he watched the stream back later, got in touch with me and said, look, I've got a solution, let me post it out to you. And so I got the white transfers in the post. He was really quick on it. I was very impressed. I hadn't even had time to contact him myself to say that I'd had a problem. Never seen that before. It's because of these coloured ones were printed on a inkjet printer on clear transfer paper. Stuff you, oh, excellent. Very nice indeed. I shall look forward to seeing some progress on that. It is very much appreciated. You weren't actually supposed to stick to my finger like that. And so the colour is coming. I think they're too far forward actually. That looks better. It can be a pain to line them up, but this is something I believe Ian is dealing with. These are very early in his time of doing transfers, so I believe this is something that's getting dealt with. And certainly these inkjet ones, the paper is not the best quality, but Ian no longer prints transfers on an inkjet printer, so that solves that problem. All his transfers do come very highly recommended. Of course, I've used his transfers when lining locos and such, and as we have seen, with no issues, and that is the standard of the newer transfers. Get in there. Going blind. Bed's calling me, so I should say good night to you. Or good night, Paderborn. Thank you for coming by. Has been great to have you here, as always. And I'm still very glad that Thomas got to have a go with the railgun. I know he was happy about it. No, that's not good. It flipped upside down. We don't like it when it does that. Because quite often when it flips upside down, the transfers come loose as I'm trying to flip them back over, and then I lose them. Just one more to do, and that is transfer time done. They'll need to dry. And then they'll need yet another coat of varnish. I don't know how well it's showing up, but you can already see. Oh yeah, you can just about see that there is some transfer paper visible around this free. That will of course go away once it gets that top coat of gloss. This is why we have to varnish it so many times. Temperamental transfers. And there we have another carriage all transferred up. And again, I shall remind you all that hydration is important. I'm very tempted to get the NEM pockets on the bottom of these brake carriages now. Certainly on this one, because this one currently does not have any wheels. So couplings wouldn't do it much good. But this one does, but I think we should probably get the transfers sealed before doing stuff like chopping it. But isn't that carriage looking nice now? Glazing, lettering, nice shiny bright white roof. Coupling, well, coupling pockets at least. And look at that, the gloss is sort of dry. We want this one to be this way round. Ah, so this one gets guard's compartment rather than just guard on it. I see. Along with some freeze on the doors. And a small SE&CR again. Have you ever tried using cellulose paint? No, I don't think I have actually. Thinking about it. No. I cannot think of a time I have. That is my answer. So of course by now you'll have all have noticed that I'm cheating with these carriages. And only lettering up one side, and there is a very good reason for that. And it's that if I get free, I'm going to run out of freeze. So let's get guards and compartment out. I don't know why this one has double doors for the guard and the other one only has single doors. Just one of those weird things. Then we'll need an SE&CR off that sheet in a second. Okay, have you put together many 3D printed coaches? A few, not a huge number. But I like to think I'm a reasonably competent modeller. You'd be amazed by the number of things I do on the live stream that I've never done before. Ever. So we're going to get an SE&CR and a free as our next two transfers, and then we'll get two more frees for the last set. Would you want the doors to be modelled with small grooves to simulate an opening, or leave it flat? That's completely up to you. Obviously, a small groove is better, but it depends on how well it will print. So I'll leave it up to someone who knows 3D printing better than me, because I'll tell you what, I don't know 3D printing very well. And leaving it flat is not the worst looking thing in the world, if that would be the better way of doing it. Oh, and we want a 3, don't we? See, I do know what I'm on about, he says, whilst explaining that he doesn't know what he's on about. And I actually want to put that 3 on first, because the 3 goes on this door, the SE&CR goes here, and then we get the last 2 3s. Feels like we're really getting somewhere with this rake now. It's feeling like it's going to look reasonably complete by the end of the night. Proof of getting somewhere indeed, James. When I've done 3D printed coaches, I've modelled door gaps with a 0.2mm wide by 0.2mm deep groove, and it works pretty nicely. Well, there we go. There is the answer to door gaps. From someone who, compared to me, may as well have a degree in 3D printing. Sometimes I wish when I said these things I was joking, but I really am just terrible at 3D printing, so I'm not joking. Have you tried 3D printing? I actually have a 3D printer. It's very old and rubbish. It's an old filament printer. So it's far from great. From back in the day when 3D printers were really expensive. But I've never been very good at CAD, no matter how many times I've tried to learn. That has been my weakness. So there we have another coach with its under transfers on. I use Blender for free. Yeah, someone that used to work for me used Blender all the time. He did some really nice stuff for the company in Blender when he was on downtime and stuff, and I really wanted to learn it. I'd watch him and get tips from him, but I was never got very good at it. Never really picked it up, no matter how much I tried. And so we are back to the gloss coat. I wish you could all see just how well this disappears in front of your eyes in reality. Oh, I'm not in the market for your 3D printer anymore. Still up for giving you a bag of Skittles. I'm always up for receiving bags of Skittles, Luke. Fusion 360 is better for modelling. I'll take your word on that. So it's definitely... Why am I putting that over there? That doesn't live over there. Definitely not my area of expertise, 3D printing. No matter how much I'd like it to be. Fantastic job. Thank you, Christopher. We are certainly getting somewhere. Somewhere I am very happy with at that. So we now need to leave. These need some more time to dry before we gloss coat them. The gloss coat on here needs some time to dry before we add a coupling. The windows in these ideally need some more time to dry. But what we can do is pull out 2 sets of these. See, I wasn't going to cheat originally. This one has lettering on both sides. We'll put an A in there. We'll put a B in there. We'll put an A in there. And a B in there. And for the first time ever, they're coupled. They are a rake. And for the demonstration for Luke, There's no effort to it at all. I mean, they may not look like much of a rake at the minute, but they are a coupled rake. And they've got plenty of sideways movement in them. So how easy is Blender to use? It's not as hard as some people say, but not easy to get started with. And James approves of rakes. Indeed. Look. We stick that there. We stick that there. They're finished. There we go. Those hunt couplings do look really good. As long as you have a decent pack, then yes, they are. The problem is having a decent pack to start with. So I had to send all my first lot back. So our second glass of hydration gone. And that's by the pint, for those wondering. That's still really wet. I can see that's still really wet. Those are still wet as well. I promised some finished carriages. I say that is some finished carriages. Looks amazing. Yeah, I really enjoyed the stream. Going to have to go now. Bed, got hospital first thing. I'll say good night. Stay safe. Good night, Simon. I hope it's nothing serious that you're having to go to the hospital for. Thank you for coming by. It has been great having you here as always. Thank you for the donation earlier. It really is appreciated. It really does go a long way towards helping with keeping the live streams running. So yes, good night and stay safe, Simon. Right, so we've got to be really careful with this one at the minute, but I do want to get that coupling attached. I would like to see at least these three that have wheels able to be a fully connected rake by the time we finish. So I kind of need to get that done now to give the super glue a little bit of time to harden. Now, of course, Gary does not recommend rushing things to get to a goal. I do it because I'm live on the internet. You're not live on the internet. You take your time. Just medication levels. Oh, okay, fair enough. Good night, Simon. So yeah, you can afford to take time, so do. So we'll grab another hunt coupling out. Obviously these won't be getting another NEM pocket out for the hunt coupling. Obviously these won't be getting NEM pockets and hung couplings at the ends of the rake. They will be getting screw links, but I won't be rushing one of those on. There is plenty of play there. And so there we have the NEM pocket attached there. So we'll give that time to go off, and we could have 3 carriages coupled together by the end of the evening. And as the 4th one doesn't actually have any wheels under it yet, I think we can let that one off, personally. And then the next thing this carriage needs is glazing, but it can't get that just yet because that really does have to wait for the varnish to go off. I'm not doing that like that. And then of course it needs the birdcage roof making. We will cover the birdcage roofs next week. I was sort of hoping we would get those done tonight. We won't. There's a chance that you might see something about that on Tuesday. That's all I'm saying, because I don't want to give away Tuesday's video. Lots of effort. But then that really will make a huge difference to these. These are now dry enough that I can put some varnish on them and get that coat done and ready for the top set of transfers. So I really do feel like we've made loads of progress tonight, and we still have 25 minutes to go. Oh dear. That's better. I should have known that would happen. What wheels are you missing? Plastic ratio ones. All the others have had metal replacements. This has none whatsoever. Remember, I did buy these second hand. So I want to put metal wheels under it. I ideally want to change them all, actually, because... Oh, that's typical. The one I pick up will be the one I've cleaned. These are mega rusty. $14mm Mansells. Yes, that is indeed what they need, and I will be getting some for them. I still need to order some more for the boys' ones of these actually as well. Because the ones these have had are actually are 2-hole disc wheels, which are very wrong. Good luck, looks like everyone's out of Gibson ones at the moment. I still have some for doing your Stroudleys, but I don't really want to use those if I don't have to. But of course I can replace them. Even Gibson are out of stock with a 6-week wait until the next batch. Fair enough. Well, maybe if I give Colin at Gibson a ring and get on the waiting list for them, maybe he'll push them up the list for manufacture if there's more orders coming in. Because all in all, I probably need 20 sets. It's got to be worth him producing something a bit sooner if he's got lots of orders coming in for it, hasn't it? That's the theory, anyway. $20 sets amateur. Yeah, but I'm only doing it for me. Right, so where did I put? I put it there. Knowing that that needs an A, I actually want to cut this one because it's the A that has the ones in the right place for measuring. So now seems like a good time to do that before I use an A. My last order was 40 pairs, and that's for my SE&CR set and my LSWR carriage. Fair enough. I'll have plenty more to order in the future. 20 is just what I've got in stock that I need them for. It's a lot of LSWR carriages. Well, you are a bit short on LSWR carriages, to be fair. For someone who models LSWR territory, almost, so yeah, out of the 3 actual companies, you're a bit short on LSWR carriages. No, I'm making sure LSWR carriages, I'm not short of them. But yeah, you are. You need more. You need lots more. No, that's the wrong bag of... There they are. Tail end of stream, but at least the carriages are near done. They are indeed nearly done, Javier. And good evening, how are you? I hope you are well. Still got those birdcage roofs to do yet. I do have the birdcage roofs to do yet, but they will be easy. The only reason I'm not doing them tonight is the time for them to set in shape. chances are I could get them done tonight, but I'd rather not rush it. I mean, I could always cheat and tell you I've actually made one already back on the first week we were doing these, so that I could have it there for in the background for my club night on the Monday, but that would be cheating and I'd never do such a thing. How could you even suggest it? Doesn't want to go in there now. That's not very sporting of it. That's better. They're really a rake now. Aren't they good? Good evening, Rachel. How are you? I hope you are well. It is good to see you as always. You join us 15 minutes from the end as we've been working on the SE&CR four-wheelers. Obviously, we've got them looking really complete now. I'm genuinely a little bit speechless at how complete they're looking. I'm really happy with them. The fourth one is just here, not looking quite as complete. You are great, excellent, glad to hear it. Those are dry enough for the top coat of transfers. That feels like a challenge. We could have all the transfers on these tonight, and then regardless of how far we get with that, I will varnish off screen if necessary for the top coat to seal them in. Whilst I wouldn't normally do stuff off camera, sealing transfers seems important enough to break that rule. That's definitely not what I wanted. That transfer has folded in half. And now it's unfolded. But I think it's fair to say that that transfer is completely ruined now. It is all over the place. Never mind. There we go, that one's in place. So we'll cut another one for guards. And we'll try not to ruin it this time. Which unfortunately we've not been able to do. I think I might have actually managed to put that one on backwards. Good evening, GWR. How are you? I hope you are well. Going to skip the word guards for now. I've only got one more of that transfer left. So I'm going to move on to something a bit bigger. You are good. I am also good. Thank you. We have had a rather fantastic live stream, practically bringing these to completion. We are certainly a lot closer than I expected to be, and I am very happy about it. And so if I can get the last transfers on this one before the end of the night, I'll be extremely happy. Okay, so shows work off very well. Thank you very much. As I say, they are actually a proper coupled rake now. So we really will be down to final details next week, I think. Go on, knit 2 pairs of wheels from the Stroud, please, just so you can have them all on wheels. I don't think you realise how tempting that is, Linny. Especially knowing I'm all set up, I can literally just plug the coupling in and have them all coupled. It's a shame I don't have a hook on one of the ends to put. Oh look, there's a hook. Yeah, I'm never getting anything coupled to that hook. Let's take it back out now and stop being silly. I don't even know where it's come from. That folded up. That's not what we want. Luckily, I am not on my last of the SE&CR identification, ownership. You know what I mean. As I am on my last for the word guards, though. It's folded up, pop it back in the water. Can usually be coached flat again. No, these ones are, they're not great. I was going to say it would be great to see these flying around the layout, but of course these wouldn't have been going very fast, I assume anyway, probably travelling lower speeds at 30. These were express coaches originally. Or express speeds anyway. They probably got up to 60 or so. Yeah, no, that one's ruined as well. Yeah, you'd be amazed at the battering these transfers won't take, Linny. Ian's newer stuff is much better quality. It's 2 minutes to midnight. No, they're not getting done. Let's see if I can find some wheels quickly. After a couple of sets ran away from me, I did. I'll be putting transfer and backing paper on the model and then coats the transfer off flat, much less likely to fold. Again, you'd think so. I never write my facts. You've done research into these characters and can be clearly seen. Sure, you know better than me. We need to read up my history. So the axles on these aren't long enough for that one. I must have got the toll bars on there wrong. That's annoying. This is a rake of 3. This is my lovely completed rake of 3 carriages that we've been working on. Only 3 of them. That is all we've been working on. But as James says, it is time for my workbench to turn into a pumpkin. It's been a great stream, Gary. Remember to smash that like button, folks. Yes, thank you, Lily. Please, everyone, do smash that like button. It really does mean a lot. I am so very happy with what we have got done tonight. It feels like it's been an absolutely fantastic stream. I mean, just look at that. It's a proper SE&CR. We're going to pretend there is a roof on here. So, yes, thank you for coming, everyone. You're not telling Porky Pies, are you? Me? Never. No. Never. We have only been working on 3 carriages. That was the plan the whole time. So, yeah. As I was saying, thank you for coming, everyone. It's been absolutely wonderful. I have had a great time. I hope you have too. We have 2 finished carriages, 1 practically finished. There is no 4th carriage. It doesn't exist. I don't know what you're on about. But yes, all that is left for me to say is indeed some fantastic work has been completed this evening. Nicely done. Thank you, GWR. So yes, all that is left to say is do remember to smash that like button. Remember, we've got a long video coming out Tuesday. I have put a lot of work in. It would mean a lot to me to see some love on that video when that comes out. It's currently taken 3 days to do that video. I've got more to do tomorrow, so it will have been 4 days work going into that video. So it'll be absolutely fantastic to see some good response to it. In the meantime, this is the end. We will be back next Sunday, but for now, I've been Gary. This has been Let's Build. You have been absolutely awesome. Good night.